Namaste Krishna Rao, welcome to IYR Talks English
Good evening.
edition.
Yeah.
Of late, we have seen in the backdrop of escalating tensions between Hezbollah and Israel, the recent explosions, that pager or walkie-talkie explosions in Lebanon has created a lot of sensation among world leaders and the countries in and around that. In fact, this is, I think, a retaliation to Hezbollah dropping lot of missiles in the military bases and also in the public area where there is a lot of loss of life and all that. So to counteract that, Israel has, I think, it has used the best of its knowledge in trying to teach a lesson to Hezbollah. So here see the pagers all got exploded at one point of time. So that's a really how these pagers have been supplied, and they are all with important people, and then the technology involved in that. So there is a the timing also is such that when everyone is within its reach, they have done this operation, and later of course they have also tried to target the places where these people are there and all that, and try to between a war it's always the common thing that attacking the enemy and trying to eradicate the enemy places. So what do you think, that is this sort of thing is going to continue further in escalating tensions and then leading to a war? Might be everybody is talking about world war and all that. So what do you think consequences of these attacks?
I think Israel has strategically dealt with both Hamas and Hezbollah in a very systematic and planned way. As long as their fight was concentrated in Gaza Strip against the Hamas, they allowed Hezbollah to pinprick them, reacting occasionally. So during that period, whenever they fired those rockets, they were being neutralized with the Iron Dome technology, and then some retaliatory strikes being taken up, not very severe, so that they contain their northern border, because the Hezbollah is on their northern border and is a very well-armed, more equipped militant organization with full backing of Iran, because Hezbollah is basically Shia militia, whereas Hamas is Sunni militia. So the Shia militia of Hezbollah gets a much better patronage from Iran. So they are very well equipped. So knowing that, they didn't really go after them till they were confident that the southern strip, Gaza Strip, is more or less under control. Once they were able to gain some strategic gains in Gaza and take it under their complete control, then they have started concentrating on their northern border. Northern border in what way? I mean, one of the deadliest technology. I mean, it takes a lot of intelligence and organization to identify the companies supplying the walkie-talkies and pagers to these Hezbollah militants, and with their connivance, without the knowledge of Hezbollah, plant explosives there which can be remotely exploded, and do it systematically at one time, so that it more or less takes care of the Hezbollah militants on a large number. Though the casualties in terms of death are not that many, but I think quite a number of them got maimed, blinded and things like that, making them ineffective as fighters. So I think that was a big achievement for them. And then that followed it up with targeted strikes, killing some of the important leaders of Hezbollah. The next step may be a much broader on-air fight with the Hezbollah, I mean bombing of the Hezbollah main points, and then ground invasion may also be contemplated by Israel. But one thing is certain, even in case they may go, destroy and come back. They may not stay, because their staying always had a bitter lessons for them. Earlier also they targeted this Hezbollah group in southern Lebanon, went there, destroyed them and stayed there and the army stayed there. When they stayed there, their losses, casualties were quite substantial, because both Hezbollah and Hamas are used to guerrilla warfare. So they suddenly come, strike the Israeli armed forces and go back. So that type of a guerrilla tactics, very difficult to control, and their casualties were substantial. So even in case they invade southern Lebanon, they may only occupy it for a very, very short period and effectively try to neutralize Hezbollah and then get back, and then plant enough of units through whom they can gather long-term intelligence which can help them in controlling the Hezbollah. That should be the strategy. But by and large, I think they have been very, very successful both against Hamas as well as Hezbollah. Whether this would lead to a much bigger Middle Eastern conflict, my thinking is it may not. For the simple reason, the other Gulf countries, Egypt, Saudi Arabia and others, are really not interested in supporting them. The only one country which is there consistently supporting both Hezbollah and Hamas is Iran. And Iran supports Hezbollah more because Hezbollah is a Shia militia unit affiliated to Iran. But Iran may also think a number of times before entering here, because if they enter here, then America will also come, which means Iran will be finished. That they know. So they may not allow it to escalate further than this. So it will be a contained operation where in the short term, definitely Israel is going to be successful. Long term, how much successful they are going to be, we cannot really say, because a lot of things are going to decide the future of these things. Because both Hamas and Hezbollah have guerrilla tactics. That always is a very, very dangerous thing. Suddenly come, like they came the other day into Israel and attacked Hamas. Attack. I mean, that becomes a constant threat for a nation. So that's a much bigger threat for Israel in the long run from both these militant organizations.
Let's hope that peace prevails, and wait for some more time to get a solution for this. Thank you.